What's up, Wolf Pack? The year of 2024 has come to a close, and we're starting off the year with some wet, soggy, and cold conditions here in Spokane, Washington. Just wanted to take some time to kind of run you through some of my favorite picks of products from the year. That goes from bikes, gear, trips, and then at the end we're going to go ahead and wrap up with some goals and things we're looking forward to in 2025. So over the past few years I've been doing stuff on the side for Loam Wolf, and this year in 2024 was the chance I got to take a leap and go full time. So now my job is to ride bikes, review products, and bring you guys my opinion on the stuff we see day in and day out here in the bike industry. To kick things off, I wanted to start off with some of the complete bikes I rode this year and which ones were really my favorites and stood out. One of the first bikes I rode this year was the new Canyon Spectral. That bike just embodies trail bike. Like, everything about it I absolutely love. The KISS system is kind of give or take. I left it on, I didn't mind it. I ran it right in the middle, and yeah, just is what it is. But going uphill, going downhill, I just never had a bad time on that bike. It allowed me to pull for gaps, push through chunky terrain, big long pedal days, and everything in between. The stiffness, the weight, the part spec on that model we had, which was unfortunately not available in the US, and that is the only downside with that bike, is there's just not a lot of availability for build kits here in the States versus over in Europe and in Canada. But overall, that is my #1 pick for pedal bike of the year. So this year we were able to bring back the DH group test, something I was very much looking forward to. I've not spent a lot of time on DH bikes in the past few years. This was the summer of downhill bikes. It was amazing to get a bunch of laps in Whistler, Bachelor, Snoqualmie Pass, Silver Mountain, and everything in between, including some shuttles. And the bike that really stood out to me most was that YT Tues. It really just feels like a big enduro bike. It's lightweight, it's agile, it still sits into the travel good when the terrain gets a little bit heavier. But overall, when I'm looking for a downhill bike, I'm not racing. I just want to go out and have the most fun day in and day out. And that YT Tues does everything that I could hope for. Now, when it comes to e-bikes, I did not ride that many full power bikes this year. It was kind of the year of SL bikes for me. And the bike that you may have noticed that stood out to me the most, if you watch our SL shootout from this season, was the Santa Cruz Heckler SL. That bike just, it inspires so much confidence. And while it's not the most powerful, it's not the lightest, doesn't have the craziest build spec, whatever magic Santa Cruz does with their geometry just makes you feel like you sit in the bike, you have complete control in any scenario, handles chunk great, turns amazing, flows and pops. Like, it just is a bike that does everything on paper and on trail that I am looking for when it comes to a lightweight e-bike. With that said, I am going to be very bummed when Santa Cruz asks for this bike back because I'm having a blast riding it. There's a few pieces of kit that stood out to me this season, one being this 7 mesh Spruce Hoody. This is a jacket that I had been wearing, not just on the bike, but around town, visiting parents over the holidays, and kind of just every day working in the office because it's very cold and I have a tiny little space heater. This jacket, it has, like, my favorite feature is just, it is so flexible, and when you're on the bike, it's not restricting. It's plenty warm, down to like 28 degrees. You know, that pedal to the trailhead's a little chilly, but as soon as you start going uphill, it vents really well, but then also just is comfy and warm. Kind of does everything a little lightweight trail jacket should. And bonus, the pockets are fleece lined, so it is nice when you're just out and about to be able to throw your hands in there and have some fleece lining to keep your little fingers warm. I suffer from severely cold fingers, and it is much welcomed. This is a jacket I am super stoked on. If you want to check out the full review, the link is in the description below. Another bit of kit that has me super stoked is the DP5 Pant from NF. This is an all-season trail pant, super durable, very rugged feeling, and for me and my long legs, most importantly, they offer it in 2 inseam lengths. I of course went with the long, and man, it is so nice to have my ankles covered when I'm pedaling and the temps are down. There is just something to be said about gear that fits properly, and as someone that has a small waist and is quite tall with long legs, it is hard to find pants that cover my ankles when I am climbing and not just standing around. A couple cool features on these pants that separate them out from a lot of the other pants on the market is they have no adjustment here on the waist. It is just a waistband. I was a little unsure at first, but after having a lot of time in these pants, I can say that it is a very, very cool feature. It's super comfy. They stay up, and yeah, overall, great pant. I am really enjoying the material. It's thick, so I know it's gonna last the test of time. My full review is not out yet. I don't want to spoil it too much, but stay tuned as I have a long-term review of this pant coming. So the last bit of kit I wanted to touch on is these Crankbrothers Mallet BOA shoes, the clip version. The best way I can describe them is they just feel like slippers. They've been amazing, super comfy on my feet. I kind of have a wide toe box and I have no issues with pinching or cramping. I got these for my birthday back in March, thanks Mom, and they've held up extremely well. I run the pins up on those shoes and there is some wear showing, as to be expected, put a lot of miles on them, but I am a big fan of these and I hope they come back in stock soon because I'm ready to get a second pair. So when it comes to parts and components, one of the things that really stood out to me this year was the RaceFace Chester grip, specifically the XL or the thicker version. That grip just, man, it just deadened any sort of little vibrations that were coming from the trail, gave me a little bit bigger platform with my hands to grab onto. And on the long days in Whistler we were filming at Crankworks, it was very welcome to have those bigger grips, and that vibration dampening that that grip offers is very, very cool. So earlier this year, me and my partner Emma made a trip up to Revelstoke and did a big Canadian bike park tour, trail travels, all that kind of fun stuff. But of that trip, Frisbee Ridge and Revelstoke really stood out to me. I've not done much alpine pedaling, and just climbing up through old growth and popping out into alpine terrain with crazy mountain views, that is by far a trip that I will remember for a lifetime, and I'm very much looking forward to going back and doing some more alpine rides here in 2025. So looking at 2025, what is on the horizon? What am I looking forward to? Well, personally, I really want to make a trip out to Vancouver Island. I've lived in Washington State almost my whole life, and I have never taken the time to go explore the island. So if any of you here live there, have some suggestion for trails, camp spots, anything like that, please drop me a comment. Let me know where to go, and hopefully maybe we can meet up and do some shredding. So as far as resolutions go for the year, I really didn't make anything, but I did set some kind of outside objective goals. I really want to focus on doing bigger days on the bike. A lot of my loops are between 1,000 and 2,000 feet of climbing, which for some people is big, totally get it. For me, that's kind of the average. It's easy to come out of my house, do my test loop, head back, eat lunch, and start editing. I have always suffered from climb anxiety. It's something, even when I'm super fit and I know it's a big day that I can handle, I still just get really worked up and anxious. So this year, I really want to put a focus into getting some bigger days on the bike consistently, not just one here or there, but really try and hit those big day marks. And for me, that's like 5,000 feet. So if I can consistently hit 5,000 feet on rides, I would be super stoked and hopefully kind of overcome that climb anxiety. Well, there we have it. That's kind of what we had going on here in 2024. My favorites, what I'm looking forward to in 2025. And for you, the viewer here this year, we were doing some really cool stuff on our members only page, tons of giveaways, chances to enter to win trips. As a matter of fact, someone will be joining me from the members only page down in Costa Rica. They won themselves an all expense paid trip. There's many levels you can choose to support. It's up to you which one you want to do. The higher levels get you access to potentially reviewing some product and trips, as well as maybe even attending one of our shootouts. Check out the link in the description below. I appreciate you tuning in 2024 and hope to see you out on the trails in 2025.